So we're doing the adjoint, right? Okay. So uh, we'll try to find the cofactor at this position 1, 1, right? So where this 2 is placed. Okay. So you'll have minus 1 raised to 1 plus 1. So that will be minus 1 raised to 2. So that will be just plus 1. So we'll remove that. I will ignore the first column and the first row. Therefore, for this position C11 cofactor, I'll be left with 1, 0, 1, 2, right? And that will just give me a value of 2, right? However, however, you have to be careful. This 2 which I get, right, from the multiplication of this 1, 0, 1, 2, that 2 will be placed at position 1, 1, okay, but that will be then transposed, right? So even if you transpose that, that plus 2 will just show here. So that plus 2 is shown here at this position which I'm marking as blue. Okay. Now let's take some other value. Let's take minus 1, this minus 1, right? So what is the position here? The position here for this minus 1, okay, it is the first, it is the second row and the first column. So I will call this cofactor C21, right? So the first factor will be minus 1 raised to 2 plus 1, which is minus 1 raised to 3. Therefore, you will have a minus 1. And I'm going to ignore, the second row and the first column. Therefore, I will be left with 0, minus 1, 1, and 2. And that multiplication will be minus of minus 1, which is plus 1. Therefore, plus 1 comes at this position, but I'm going to transpose it. Therefore, 1 comes here. Right? So that's how you can find the cofactors and then find the adjoint of the matrix. Right? So I've done this directly, but I will suggest that you first write the cofactor matrix and then find the adjoint. It will be clear. After doing that, the adjoint of the matrix P, which is this, okay, and this is the adjoint, that will just be multiplied with 1 by determinant, which is 1 by 6. Okay. So now with this process, we have found P inverse. Okay. Now the diagonal is nothing but P inverse into A into P, right? Now, the other thing that we understood from the slides was that the diagonal matrix will just have eigen values in its main diagonals, right? That was one of the statements that we made, right? So the diagonal D here will be nothing but lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, and zeros elsewhere, right? It is supposed to be like that. And lambda 1 is nothing but 8, and lambda 2, lambda 3 are nothing but 2 and 2, which were repeated eigenvalues. So the structure of this diagonal matrix D needs to be like this, right? D should be equal to 8, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, and 0, 0, 2, because I know that it will just be a diagonal matrix. It will just be a matrix which will have diagonal elements. Now, can we prove that this diagonal D is actually correct? Right? Now, for that, we are going to use the equation P inverse A into P. Right? So we already have the value of P inverse, which we found here. So this is the value of the P inverse, which we found using the cofactor matrix, right? And then we have the value of A, because this is the matrix which is given to us. And then we have the value of P, which is the modal matrix, which we found here. This is a combination of eigenvectors corresponding to each eigenvalue placed as columns. Right? So you have the value of all the three matrices, and so I have written the matrices in this form on the right hand side, and then you just start multiplying them. Right? So how are you going to multiply? This first row here gets multiplied with this first column, then this second row here gets multiplied with this column, and so on and so forth, right? And you multiply these two matrices, you get this answer, and you have this matrix. Again, you start doing the same thing. You have this row with this column, then you have this row with this column, and so on and so forth. Okay? And once you multiply, you get this answer, and you will see that, or you can check that this has to be a diagonal matrix, right? And then the final answer just comes out to be 8, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, right? So the definition that a diagonal matrix